Hello, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am Reese, and today I wanted to talk about divine timing and why certain desires come to you at certain times or certain ways, right? Because if everything's created already, what was the deal when you got the desire, when you actually felt it? I know sometimes you have to actually be aware of something to desire it, so it's not there, right? A desire is typically something you are aware of and become more aware of the possibilities around it. Okay? So let's just take love, loving somebody, specific person. And this isn't the kind of thing. Well, we can do things not there actually. That's fine. Say you see a pretty girl or a handsome guy, and you just have like this feeling. Okay? You have this feeling of desire, and that desire is an indication that there is a version of you who knows this person and a version of them who knows a version of you. It's not the version that you are seeing, it's not the version that you are. You are currently being aware that there is a version of you who is with them, and there is a version of them who is with you. The one that you see kind of just goes off, and the one that you are being right now is, from your perspective, your awareness, making a choice rather. Making a choice and keeping a goal in mind that this is your desire, this is what you want to do, and this is what you want to be. You have to become aware of the person for it to be a specific person, right? You can't just have a desire to feel love. That means what's resonating with you in the moment is that you feel that desire to actually move on in your life with a romantic partner. Because there is a version of you that is feeling that something in your life triggered the awareness of that set of realities, that set of ideas that's unfolding for you. Right. Here's another story. Say you've known someone for like a long time, and you had this feeling when you saw them the first time, and things happened, and more assuredly, as time passes by, as linear time passes by, what's happening is that you are making decisions in the moment, every moment, to follow a path created in the now moment continuously of who you are being right now with that specific person. At every single point, you are making decisions to go further or not, or less than. Just make it just three things rather, just to make it simplified. And it's coming from you, and the way they respond to you is the way that you are manifesting yourself, because yourself is who you are, and no one can respond to you other in any other way than who you are being, right? And if you say, well, how come people respond to me in a certain way, in like rudely or whatever it is? I don't think I'm being that person. No, exactly. You're not being that person. You're not letting that tell your story. You're saying that person was rude to me. I don't prefer that. I'm not going to react or be rude to them. That's just not my story. And you'll see it unfold and change as you persist in who you are. I know I had an argument with somebody at the gym once, and I said, you know what, I'm not feeling that. I'm not going to bother with this person, like this version of them. I'm not going to be like, I'm gonna be cool with it. And after like, I remember distinctly that the beats were like, we did that to each other at some point. We was like, okay, cool, we acknowledge each other, and then waved like a couple of weeks later. And then the last time I saw the guy, we postponed. I've never spoken to him once, but like, hey, what's it? It's like, hey, cool, man, like, what's up? And then he goes away because I persisted in my own identity in that I I'm not going to deal with that conflict kind of thing, right? Because I don't have any interest in conflict. It's not worth it. So that being said, why do certain desires then pop up in the way they do? We see as you go on with your friendships, your relationships, your beingness with each person, And what ends up being a specific person that you've known for however long, if you've known them, if you've been in a relationship with them, if you don't, you're just friends, whatever. It's you in every moment that you're spending with them, in every moment that you're spending with them, that you are making decisions as to how much of yourself you are allowing. And depending on how much of yourself you're allowing, and then you're going forward, right? So, let's just say you're friends and then you start hanging out together. And then you're like, I don't really feel that, but I do want to. And you start feeling those feelings, and then you're like, okay, cool. And it's not new to you, but you're allowing it's resistance free because it's resistance free because you've already done this. You're already familiar with this part of the relationship, the friendship part. You're already familiar with it. You've mastered that self of allowing a friendship to unfold, right? You kind of just like become a master at it, a master manifester of this part of manifesting, right? Because sometimes things seem so smoothly. Sometimes things just go so smoothly. You're like, I can be like a perfect friend to somebody. It's amazing. I have the perfect friendship with this person, right? And then, as you start to realize that I'm actually allowing myself more and more to be more and more with this person because it just feels right. It feels right, it feels right, it feels right. And then slowly you'll start to realize I want more, but I'm not getting more. Like, I want more out of this thing, but what's holding me back? And you realize, okay, I'm in love with this person, I love this person, I want to be with this person, but something's holding me back. And this is what I would say is where your old self meets a new desire, which is what the title of this video is. Uh, when your old self meets a new desire, what typically happens is you either let it go and say, you know what, I don't really want to do this again, etc., fear, doubt, all of that, or you say, no, I'm at a point where I actually want this to work. I don't understand why I want this specific one to work. I don't understand what's resonating with me with the specific one, but I want this to work. And it can happen so succinctly for this specific person. And I know a lot of people don't even understand, like, oh, why do you want that specific person? It's like, no, because something about it resonates with you. Whereas even if you've had others in your life, the friendship thing was always great, and then like the the up and down of maybe not was always there, but it was always more not than maybe, and that's why it kept going, because you were always staying in that old like self, kind of just coasting along until the inevitable end happens, right? The inevitable end of this thing happens, and then it doesn't really matter at that point. You just find a new friend, I guess, right? You do this again and again and again, and sooner or later, because everyone is progressing, everyone is finding that I amness. You have to. It's why you are here. You are here as a blank slate, realizing you're blank because you are infinite. You couldn't be one specific thing because you are blank. So your old self meets the new self. Here we go. Now the ride begins. Right now the ride of life starts, I think, and it's quite something, because you realize how many self-made roadblocks and beliefs that you picked up from who knows when, and you start to drop them, and as you drop them it manifests in your experience and then out, and it can be quite devastating sometimes. I get that, I really do, especially when it's people like close to you, especially when it's people like your family, or like people that you consider family, really close to you. It like can be quite devastating. these things that can be felt felt right here. And when you allow them to be felt right here and realize that it's just a feeling that it's lack revealing itself to not be anything else than lack, to not be an existent force and to not be an existent idea, that it's what was uncovered, what was covered, which is love, is appearing and expanding you, and that's what that pain is. Love expanding because you held it back for so long. It is that new self expanding, and you have to expand to allow your new self. If you don't expand, you can't willingly experience what you want, because to experience what you want is to willingly let the old version of yourself who couldn't, wouldn't, didn't die. Yes, understanding I am can be quite painful sometimes, but it's a long-term suffering to believe yourself to be I am not. It's a continuous ever roller coaster of I am not, and that's true suffering. Pain is not suffering. Pain is allowing yourself to grow. I said, no, but it shouldn't be painful, it shouldn't be this, shouldn't be that. I'm not saying it is a painful experience, I'm saying it can be. When you allow that pain to just be your old self dying and rise in that new self, you stop making pain and suffering and all this stuff a reason to not grow, a reason to hold back, a reason to say, I'm not loved, I'm not this, I'm not that. You let it all go, then you are that new self, because that new self fears nothing. That new self doesn't need anything. That new self allows yourself to be what you want to be fearlessly. And then you start to see other people as that. People who are fearlessly or fearfully doing things. And you say, and then your understanding becomes, should they or shouldn't they? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why someone did something. You forgive them. It doesn't matter how long you spent apart. You see them as if you saw them moments ago. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you speak or you don't speak, or they hear or they're not here. You realize everything's happening right now. And that love that you have for this person, that you have allowed yourself to feel because you are that new self, you were already being that new self when that desire came to you. It was that new self meeting that old self at a road where he was waiting. And you said, I am not going with you anymore. And you kept going. It's a crossroads. Pain can be seen as a crossroad. It's like, do you take do you take the way back, or do you go forward? It's up to you, frankly. When you imagine yourself as that person and you say, no, I am that person, I am the person that goes forward, it doesn't matter what you do as long as you know you did it as the person going forward, because you know what you would have done as the old one. You know what you would have done as the old version, and you don't do that. You just go forward. So go forward and forgive yourself. Forgive yourself if you feel like you messed it up. Forgive yourself if you feel like I went and then I didn't, and then I went and I didn't. Forgive yourself. You're perfect, but you're not going to perfectly experience it. You're going to experience things as if, oh, maybe I should have did more, maybe I should have did less, maybe I should have done this, maybe I should have done that. No, because part of being a new self is forgiving yourself as well. When you forgive yourself for not doing something that you think you should have done, remember, it's always the small mind that thinks it should have done something. Your new identity knows that you are doing it perfectly. It doesn't matter. I am given a situation like say you have there's a third party and you don't want to have a conflict with this person. So you're like avoiding your SP or not avoiding your SP, that kind of thing, right? This is a real thing. It's not as much as your mind tells you like just go face that problem that you're coming up with. It's like, no, you don't have to do that. Like I don't believe that it's fair to you, and you're being fair to yourself to say that I'm forcing myself to do this. That's not fair. But avoiding your SP is not going to get you there. I'm not saying avoid your SP. I'm saying if you don't want to have anything to do with the conflict, but also not avoid that person, that's perfectly fine. I think that's perfectly fine. That has to be. Remember, everything you are source. You can decide. I am source. I can decide. I decide that's perfectly fine. I think that's perfectly fine. Remember, you can only go so far as your heart can go, and it doesn't mean you don't want what you want. It just means that circumstances are there. You can't change them. You can't do anything about them. You just choose the script. So as you're going along in the script that you've chosen of who you are, I am no longer the person that avoids my love, my life, the life that I choose. And you know what? I don't need to be here at certain points because I don't believe that I need to. It feels right to go right this moment. I'm going to, because that's where I am right now. Anyway, and just keep going. Keep going as that new version of yourself that trusts and believes that no matter what's going on, no matter what you do, no matter what you feel, no matter what you are doing in the script, no matter what you are feeling, no matter what fears come up, no matter what doubts come up, you are gonna go forward as that new self. That I am that self. I may not believe that I'm doing it properly. I may not perceive that I'm doing it properly. I may perceive these circumstances and conditions so otherworldly that I don't even know how they came up. I may have endless regrets about things that I've done. I may have guilt about the things I've done, but I choose right now that I am that new self. I don't need to fix anything. I forgive myself for all of those thoughts and believing in them at any point. I forgive myself. I forgive everyone. I forgive them. I forgive me. I forgive every single person in my life. And I forgive myself for ever seeing them in any other light than they are God and I am God, and we are all one love and we are all one reality, because that is what I choose to see no matter what. Through all this fear, through all this doubt, through all this stuff, I am who I say I am. And that is a wonderful thing. That is desires and divinely timed for you to actually go down that road. Remember, I believe those heart desires come about when you are willing to be that new version and keep going forward. At every impasse, you say no and you go forward. Remember, when I say divine timing, I don't mean something's happening in like a specific point in time. All things manifest at the appointed hour, as Neville says, but I don't mean the physical thing manifesting in your reality at some point. I mean, like, the divine timing is when you allow yourself to be it. When you realize it came because I was already being that version who was allowing myself to love this person. I was already being the version of myself who allows myself to love this person completely, see them as the love of my life. I choose to see the version of them who chooses me, because that is it. You know, you are loved by every single person in the universe, because you are the universe. Manifesting them as love, manifesting them with the assumptions of who you are. And when you manifest everyone in the world as the assumption of you are God, they are God, you are God, that means they are infinite and you are infinite. And from the infinite versions of yourself, who are you? I am the version of myself who is in that relationship that I desire to be. And the person that I choose chooses me. My desires desire me, because they already came to me. Source gave it to me. I am Source. I gave it to myself. That's who you are. Oh, and my backlight went out. Put it back on. But anyway, there. Cool. Much love. Second video today. I felt inspired to talk about this stuff. And much love. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the following. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for joining my group. If there is a Facebook group, it's in the info box below. Feel free to pop in and say hi. And there's a TikTok page, etc., etc., etc. All the stuff is all cool. And I'm Reese. This is React to Reality. Lovely to be here and lovely to be with you. There is a cool thing that I just came up with. It's on Facebook. I don't know whether I'm gonna do something with it, but I'm just popping the idea in my own head right this moment. So it's kind of like a amorphous love story explaining I am through these two characters that I'm just calling Adam and Eve, right? And it came about from myself imagining. And it's like as they love each other, they grow to learn more about the I amness of love itself. And I got that on Facebook for the moment, like little snippets of like a little like super short description stories of these things. I don't know whether I'm going to take it further, but it's just a cool idea. If you have any ideas of what to do with that, feel free to pop it in. I'm super curious about it. It's the two people who I love, and then as they realize more stuff about themselves and each other, they learn more about the I am. And as my fictional characters, so to speak, are evolving and up and upgrading and leveling up and becoming more I am as I am. Yeah. Thank you. Much love. Take care. And love and light.